Make it fair. If I can shoot slow.
You can then take these two for length, and we will just remove this so it looks nicer on TV.
I was trying it. It's straight and it's
So you make it unfair, you practice more.
yeah.
We can start?
So, good match.
Good afternoon, pool fans watching around the world, wherever you are watching. We are live here at the Dutch Open Predator EuroTour, where we have in our featured match a winners round 1, Attila Bezdan versus Iker Echeverria from Spain. Attila, of course, from Hungary. My name is Arya Sorabi. I will be talking you throughout this match as we have a closer look at this beautiful setup right live from Assen, the northern region from the Netherlands. As it is Attila who's won the lag and who shall be breaking. It's 2 breaks per player, so Attila first to get this match on the way. And that cue ball, yeah, I was always tracking towards the side pocket. And that is, of course, every pool player's nightmare. Specifically in the modern day standard. The ball in hand usually is can be considered as a cardinal sin. As we have a first look at Iker Echeverria at the table. Could have done with having his cue ball go a few rows further. Yeah, it's more the positional side from the 1 to the 2 that was undesirable. Although having missed the 2, he has created a minor problem here for Attila. Now all of a sudden, which is I believe the 4 ball, maybe it's the 5 ball, although you don't even have to look at that. Yeah, it's the 4 ball. Attila failed to avoid running into the 3. Now he's forced to play safe. Well, I was under the assumption that he was playing safe. Nearly potted the 7 and created a problem for himself. It's amazing. You don't see this often, although maybe if ever you would see it in the first rack. Both players have had ball in hand now, each in this rack. And it's Attila with the best chance so far. That is, of course, one thing to be wary of, is when you're slightly foolish on the ball and you're playing it with a side spin, trying to develop a higher angle of the rail. If it has not got too much velocity, you just keep spinning because the cloth is brand new. Don't need to remind you guys, it's the first day, which will be a long 14 days of pool action. Rightly after the EuroTour, we will have the European Championships also participated here in this beautiful venue. But after both players having had a ball in hand, Attila, who scratched off this break initially, still put the first rack on the board and gets another break, and let's see if he can keep his cue ball on the table. Yeah. Presuming you're watching this on YouTube, you can skip back, let's say 10-20 seconds, and you can if you can track where the cue ball hits the side rail, you can clearly see it did not hit the one full enough in the face. This has resulted in the layout that we are currently facing, and I don't think he can get enough of the one to play the combination on 1 to 6, so he might have to, he's pretty much bounded to play safe. I don't know whether he can stun this one and maybe just hold his cue ball behind the 2. Yeah, something similar like that. And mind you, he's managed to control the 1 as good as he could have. And now it's pretty tough to say whether Iker can get through the gap of the 3 and the 9. So clearly not. He's having to go through the side rail, maybe even top rail first. Yeah, that's seems like what he was trying to do. But the 8 nudging the 9 has closed the pathway for the 2 in the bottom right corner pocket. So that in itself gives Attila here a very astute positional shot to play if he wants to run this rack. And let's not forget the 5 is not looking too inviting altogether as well. Going 2 rails. I'm sure he can see the edge of the 2. Yes, he can, but unfortunately, I'm sure he tried to play position for the 2 in the side pocket. Having landed absolutely flush on the 6 means he has to play safe. Well, it was a two-way shot. Always knew that the 9 would go towards the side corner pocket. But the 2 ball now does pass the 5 and the 8. Which also seems to be the key shot in this rack here. The 5 ball. Not so easy to play good position on that, particularly from the angle he's left himself on the 3 here. So there is a thought to say, you know, if you don't fancy to play perfect position on the 5, might as well just draw your cue ball a little bit back. Well, having said that, what a lovely shot he's played there. Iker Echeverria, take a bow. That was a great shot. Didn't have a lot of room for error. Running into the 8. That was a exceptional shot, which could be the beginning of his campaign here in this match. As Iker pulled out that great shot there, the position from the 3 to the 5, gets his first rack on the board. Now it's his turn to break twice. Iker with a successful break and a great layout. Has to be said, the 5 clearly does pass the 8. And I do believe the 6 also passes the 8, so it's just about... Ooh. I'm not so sure whether he got a kick there, you know, or a skid as the Americans like to call it. Not entirely sure whether he got a skid there. Well, throws out everything out of the window. I was about to say in regards to Iker. Attila needs to take care of this positional shot here. Left himself a nice angle on the 4. Would like to, in worst case, land high on the 5, so that would be a bit more up table rather than going too much down. Just like that. That way you can always control the cue ball. Whether it's to drop it in, screw it in, or maybe even punch it in off 2 rails. He's got options.
Attention.
Attila here needs to make up his mind whether he wants to absolutely make sure that he can see the 8 by playing his cue ball a little bit shorter, or make sure he goes past the 9. This for me was a little bit risky. I would always try to incorporate the bottom rails just to make sure that you're absolutely guaranteed to land on the 8, but nevertheless, landed perfect. On the other featured stream table, table 1, we've got our young Dutch prodigy Yannick Pongers battling it out, who is playing against a countryman of Iker Echeverria, Pablo Garcia. Of course, as you can see in your screens, it's the Dutch Open, so you can expect to see a lot of Dutch pool talent at some point in this tournament at one of the stream tables. Tricky positional shot coming up now. The 8 is a huge ball in blocking the pathway to the 3, so needs to be extra careful with his cue ball here. It's always tough to 100% know whether the player can get to the putting angle, so most of the time you're trying to judge by their facial expressions. I thought I saw a little grimace there by Iker, and he did try to play safe, but unfortunately all that's ever happened is he's handed the initiative with a great chance here for Attila to double his lead. Really missed the 6 there. This game can really catch you off guard the best of times. I mean, all the players, or majority of the players participating, are more than capable of running multiple racks consecutively, but also all of them have one thing in common: they can also all miss some of the most amazingly, seemingly easy shots. Head scratches, as we like to call them. None of that is the case though here for Attila, who now builds a 3-1 lead and gets to break twice himself. As you can see, Yannick Pongers in your overview. Back at our table here, Attila with his second pair of breaks, and I believe he's failed to pot the ball. which is very unfortunate indeed, because look at the position of the table and also the opening shot. Unmissable, this one. And now then, I'm curious to see whether Iker is even slightly tempted to play position for the 3-9 combo. Well, one thing is for sure, whatever he was planning to do, he needs to switch to plan B now. Yeah, that tough pot on the 3 proved to be too difficult. Yeah, in all fairness, when you go back to the opening position and the easy pot he had on the 1 after the break, the dry break by Attila, you have to say he was a bit careless to leave himself such a high angle on the 2, which all caused a problem playing position on a 3. And this has resulted in, well, what we are watching live now. No problems at the table, all the balls widespread. Just a matter of keeping your composure, keeping tight control of the cue ball, and it would be Attila once again increasing his lead. Looked a little bemused. Thought he was going to guarantee to leave himself a better angle than he did, but unfortunately for him, the 9 and the 8 are positioned in such a way that playing perfect position on a 7 was always going to be a bit more tricky. So it might have worked out better even to having to play high on the 7. Just a matter of putting the 7 here with a lot of right spin from his point of view. Go around the 8, just like that. A lot of pace on the cue, but that was always going to be the case after having left himself so thin on the 7. So one more pressure pot to take care of here for Attila. Yeah, so Attila gratefully takes the opportunity he got gifted by Iker. I was about to say, he is desperate not to pot the, or fluke the 5. Really put himself in trouble there. No, that was definitely the 6 first. Ball in hand for his opponent. And when you look at the position of the 2 ball, there is an argument for Iker to say, pot the 1, send your cue ball upwards for the 2 and the 9 combination, and with the 5 being where it is, it could prove to be a big wall. No, I'm sorry, that's not a big pocket. That's my mistake. Actually, the 5 is blocking the corner pocket, so if anything, this is the right way forward. Attila trying to kick this 2 ball inside the top left. That was as played. Well done. I think the 6 just stopped in time, so you should be able to get to the potting angle on the 4 here. It's just about making sure that you pot the 4, and if you inject enough power in the cue ball, or if you want to hold the cue ball, get enough backspin on the cue ball, and you should be able to see the 5 after this pot, just like that. He's overran his cue ball by 2 feet at the very least. Yeah, I'm afraid that was completely self-inflicted, and that is very annoying indeed, especially if you are in front and you've had the initiative, you've had your man with his back against the wall, and then all of a sudden one bad positional shot and you leave your opponent in with it seems to be a golden chance. Very frustrating indeed. Seems to me that he can hold his cue ball here. So, yeah, nice gentle shot. Yeah, you can tell by the body language of Attila that he is not amused by his previous visit. Let his opponent off the hook, has to be said. And after 6 racks played, it's now Iker back at the table with 2 breaks. Maybe the score isn't updated just yet, but in fact it is 4-2 in favor of Attila Bezdan rather than 4-1. That's the actual score line. Iker with a dry break there, and first glance Again, it doesn't look like there's too many problems at the table. Good pace. He's played that positional safety shot. I'm sorry. A lot of balls should be moving after that. Again, a very good safety shot there by Iker. And this time the jump becomes a lot harder because it's almost glued to the rail. Yeah, the 5 ball still needs some sort of resolving. That's the core essence of 9 ball, 8 ball, 10 ball, straight. Complex problem solving, and well, one thing is for sure, with that pace there would only be one outcome. And if anything, I think he could consider himself a bit fortunate to being able to see the 5 rather than being completely snookered behind the 7. That is a nicely executed, controlled backspin shot. It's hard to tell whether the 2 passes the 4 there. Well, first things first, needs to, if he's going for the attack, of course, that being said, take care of the 1, and that has proved to be a bit too difficult. There's not a lot of pace in the in the object ball, rather. So much so that Attila can actually see the putting angle on the 1, and the automatic pathway from the cue ball would be going close to the 2 and the 4. He never attempted the putt there. It was all about safety, as the 1 is now nestled onto the 6. Attila forced here now to play off 3 rails, a kick shot. That's definitely what he was planning to do. However, it is another chance for Iker here. And there isn't too much time on the clock left for him in terms of racks. That was a nice shot there by Iker Echeverria. At the angle to hold. There's cue ball in now. Just needs to run this off 2 rails for the 7 in the middle. Well, he's drawing it back. Also an option. Nice in close control. These are important junctures of the match. Let's not forget. When your opponent is past the halfway mark, at the very least you only want it to be one rack in it rather than 3 or 4 racks. Look at this for a break. For a second it seemed like the two would be occupied there. But, I mean, maybe a little bit hampered cueing. But where the 3 is sitting, there's not a lot he has to do with his cue ball. Just to make sure of the putt. That's twice where I felt like the cue ball is caught Attila off guard for a second there. Oh, and that nudge on the 7 actually helped. Nice in close control now. What I just said previously, of course, goes for both players. There's a huge difference in between 5-4 or 6-3 in a race to 9. Now just 3 racks away from the win. I'm afraid that was always on the cards. It's funny how you can sometimes convince yourself that you can possibly avoid the double kiss, but some of them are just plain and simple always on. A complete mishit there by Iker. And I suppose he missed it by such a margin that not only the pot went all astray, also his cue ball was completely lost there. Now he can clip off the left side of the 3 and try to send his cue ball back to this side of the table. Try and hook his opponent using one of... Oh, the cue ball is close. Yeah. And the previous rack that was also visible. It seems like the side rails are now catching Attila by surprise. So, a couple of shots where he had to use 1 or 2 rails and the cue ball is overrun by miles numerous occasions, and now, yeah, has to be said, there is no justification for messing up such a great chance to increase his lead even further. He could with some of his... I think both players are probably talking about the bounce of the rails, maybe. Not too happy with the liveliness of the cushions. The cue ball was on quite some adventure there, but again, the opening position of the table seems to be absolutely perfect. Cue ball bounced just high enough for him to draw straightly back. Wow. Yeah, that's unforgivable. And if there was one player that could not afford to miss opportunities like that, it is the player who is behind. Stating the obvious, I know, but that is very painful indeed. Now the young man from Hungary up 7-4. Clearly enjoying his time at the table a lot more than his opponent. I mean, if he cannot hold this cue ball for the 6 in the bottom side pocket, you can cross the table just like that. Never really understood why to tap the table or apologize. I mean, of course, when you fluke, it's called sportsmanship to apologize. But when you run a rack, yeah. Nevertheless, he's closed the gap a little bit further. It's now 7-5 in favor of Attila. Iker back at the table after his timeout. Nice bank shot there by Attila. And that might just be the last piece of the puzzle to crack this frame rack. Put himself on the hill. And with a lead more than of 4 racks. It's tough to not make him favorite, although has he made a mess of that? I mean, I thought the cube will just stop in time, but maybe. Well, no, I think he can see the putting angle. Probably is trying to look at to cross the table for the 7 in the side pocket. Yeah. I'm laughing. That's only because I can empathize with Attila. Sometimes it's just very hard to figure out the table, and the cue ball is just not on a piece of string. And of course, when these little errors tend to compound, all of a sudden you have to come up with the big shots, and that is self-inflicted, of course. Yeah, Iker, sorry. Can't see the putting angle of the 7. I think that's gonna bounce high enough, yep, to land nicely here on the 8. It's a straight old match. Both players getting several chances each, almost every rack. So the scoreline could have been anyone's. Yep, the cushions, for some unknown reasons, are seeming very lively. Attila so far, 3 bank attempts, 3 successful. All the more important for him now to finish off this rack. Seems to have abandoned his pause and his backswing. Something that is very important if you want to have a very consistent strike. Nevertheless, puts himself on the hill. 8-6 up now. Of course, it is Iker Echeverria who has a chance to pull the scores even level, but a lot of balls to be potted to get to that stage. The cue ball. Whoa. Hit both of the knuckles of the side pocket, and to make matters worse, failed to pass the test in terms of the 3-point rule, where 3 balls need to pass the head string and each ball potted counts as 1. As you can see, it's only the 3 that got slightly close to the head string, and he did manage to pot 1 ball off his break, but nothing else moved past the head string. Meanwhile, Attila here with a great chance to finish this match, and I'm sure he is very eager to do so, although you need to come up with better shots like that. I mean, that is a very careless shot. Needed to get a lot more backspin and side spin in the cue ball. Ran into the 6 and he's now snookered himself here on the 4. And what seemed like a great chance a moment ago is now a foregone memory. Iker eagerly taking advantage of another lifeline he got thrown at him. Neither of the player really forced their opponents to come up with a tough escape. This is the first real hook. Now then. Could that fluke prove to be the winning shot in hindsight? Once again, him with a chance. It's these type of shots where Attila had to come off one, maybe two rails that has caught him off guard so far. But that seems to be almost perfect, if not so perfect. It's just a matter of whether he can avoid running into the 9 or just play it hard enough just to make sure that you will get back off the table. Yep, jacked up, and he tried to pot the 8, anything off completely straight. Well, another pressure pot coming up. This is for the win, of course. Yeah, nice shot. Yeah, so that fluke there proved to be the key factor in the last rack of this match. My name is Arya Sorabi. Thank you for watching, and keep an eye on the stream as we will have another match coming up after this. Bye for now.
Predator EuroTour Predator Dutch Open. This is day 1 and we are already underway with winners round. This is a losers round 2 match. You have Nicholas Balafas from Greece against the recently crowned double gold medalist from Lithuania, Jakubas Slančevičius. What a match I commentated on. Lithuania had a phenomenal European Championships youths not long ago, winning multiple medals, some incredible games. Already taking a 2-0 lead in this match. I think he's hooked on the one. Yeah, maybe a jump shot. So he can bend it. Yeah, he's hooked there. The man from Greece, yeah, doesn't look like he's played much in terms of history that I see online. The Lithuanian player is full of confidence at the moment, I'm sure. As said, after a fantastic Youth European Championships just back in July. Yeah, he was a bit twisted with his body there. That was a bit more difficult than it looked. Oh, he's had a bit of a roll there. Thought he was going to leave it. But yeah, this is day 1. Yeah, my name is Graham Hickman. I'll be talking you through this match. And we'll be spending some time together over these next days to the conclusion of the men's and the women's. Yeah, it was a good hit. I think he might have left a combo. Maybe if he has, he might have left it in such a way. One ball will squeeze over to the right side of the table. Hard to tell from this angle. Playing safety shot. Trying to get down behind the 2. Even further if he can get right by the pocket. Oh, that's a fantastic shot. What a great safety shot. Not a straightforward kick either. Maybe he can go just above the centre pocket on the right side of the table. Down to the short rail. Try to catch an edge of this one. That is a possibility. I think that's on. Yeah. How's he look? Looks the 1 ball. Not the best cueing for the 2 ball. And it doesn't go either, so he does have a combo if he wants to play extremely aggressive. Or he could play a thin edge off the 2. Try and go around the 8 ball maybe. Get that cue ball back up to the top of the table. Well, it's not too bad cueing. He can get... It's not terrible. He's playing the edge. Decided to go to the right side of the table. It's not a bad result. I think he has hooked the Lithuanian player here. You do fancy him to kick this from the long rail on the left. Can he get behind it? Maybe we see from the main camera. Yeah, maybe he can get just round the 8 ball and try and kick it from the bottom short rail. You do well to get some cover here as well. A lot of right hand spin. Try and catch this 2 from behind. Yeah, it's going to be a foul. Is the 9 going to reach? Oh wow, just very fortunate there to catch the rail. Didn't catch that with much pace. This 2 ball does go. But if he wants to hold for the 3 ball, he's going to have to play this pocket speed, just drop this in, so full commit on the pot. Just missed it though. Yeah, it's one of those shots where it's not the typical shot that players like to play. Pocket speed over distance. So a chance for Jakubas here. Doesn't want to be on that 9. Ooh, I think he's just pushed it enough. If that was just above the centre pocket there, you can see, I think it goes. Yeah, it looks okay. If that 9 ball was just a few millimetres higher, it's in a really awkward position. I wonder if you try and draw this past the 9. Yeah. Oh wow. Miscue that? Not sure what happened there. They didn't get any, so you can see the spin on the ball. I wonder if that was a bit of a miscue because he was meant to be drawing the cue ball up table. Bit of a misjudgment there. Second chance for Nicolas. How's the speed? Looks good. He's played that well. So yeah, that 9 ball looks to go in the side pocket. So just drop this over the long rail and back out. Great if you can get over towards the 9. He's not cutting this back. Could do with a bit more. I think that looks good. It must be tighter than it looks because he's giving this a bit of extra care. Must be very, very close to that point of the middle pocket. Just making sure. Gets his first rack on the board for Greece. It is an alternate break format. As you could see, it is 9 ball. Alternate breaks, but both players will have 2 breaks before switching back to the other player. So this must be the second break of Jakubas. Makes a ball. We are playing a 3-point rule. This could be just makes the points. So it's a 3-point system on the break. He's got a lovely shot on this one as well. So worked out very nice. The 3 points are made by 2 things. 1, pocketing a ball, and 2, getting a ball past the break line where you can see that the red 3 ball is right now. As long as you make a combination of both making balls and balls going past the break line, then that's classed as 3 points. Taking these pretty quick. 5 ball must go on the side, he's thinking. Drop this in. Here's a quick player. He's overrun that a little bit. The natural path of the cue ball is going to run into the 9 and to the right side of the table. So just drop this in. He should have a shot on a 6. It's a bit thinner than he would have liked. It's getting trickier by the moment. This 6 is very thin. How much can he draw and hold the cue ball, avoid it from scratching or going towards that middle pocket? Maybe just go above the left side of the 8 and then play the 8 on the side maybe. Oh, he's gone into the 8. He's been fortunate there though. Well, there is a bank on here. It's aggressive, but I wouldn't blame him for taking it on because the 8 ball is a little bit of a big pocket. He could try to hide the cue ball behind the 9. That's also an option, but I fancy this bank. It's one of those nice banks as well. If it straightens up, it could go in off the 8 clean. So 8 ball first and then in. If he makes the bank a little bit fat, it could go off the rail, then off the 8 and in. So he does have a lot of good things can happen taking this bank on. Then again, the safety shot is quite inviting behind the 9 as well. Just depends how he feels. Looks to me like he's lining up for the bank. He's gone fat. He's caught the 8. Yeah, just like I thought. Could work out okay, this. Oh, what a result. That's worked out absolutely perfect, really. Because that 8 ball could have went anywhere. Can I have a stop shot? I'll just pull this back a little bit, maybe, for the 9 in the same pocket. Yeah, it's a good bank shot. Got the rewards. Punished the miss. And then, to add salt in the wounds, he will now have 2 breaks himself to really punish the Lithuanian player. We get to see what the break is like from the man from Greece. This is a big match. It's race to 9, but it is on the loser's side. So the loser will be going home, as we say. It's going to be an illegal break. Can he make the 1? I think he might be able to. Yeah, it looks very tight. Even if he can make it, he's got to play a bit of a shot. There's a combo on the 4. I think he can make it. Scratch the cue ball. Ooh. Yeah, he tried to run that through off a couple of rails, didn't work out. He's left another tester, a bit like the one Nicholas had in the previous rack where he just missed it and tried to roll it. Tried to play safe, I think. It's all gone wrong. Yeah, I'm wondering if he could pop that. Maybe wasn't able to get position on the 2, or he didn't like it. Looks like the 2 does go in the top right as well, so maybe there was an option to try and run through. Nevertheless, safety didn't work out. So 1 good positional shot here. Yeah, he's played that well. Probably just pull this back, maybe above the 7, so he's not hampered queuing. He must have enough room to get in there between the 9. Yeah, he could just play that well. He's just okay. Probably going to be a little bit closer to the rail, maybe. He played that well. He actually played the 8 ball into the long rail just to create that little bit more control on the cue ball. And there you got a bit of a glimpse at why this Lithuanian player has been winning medals recently. Very good player. Yeah, it was very good. He won the 9-ball gold and the 10-ball gold. Very impressive. That's a pretty good break. Balls have opened quite nice. Oh, that might help. Have they split just enough for this 2-ball to go through? What a right result that is. It looked for all the world he wasn't going to have a shot there, but parting of the sea. Where the 3-ball is, if this does go past the 5 in between the 4, you can just play a stop shot. Doesn't need to do anything crazy. Well, how about that, ladies and gentlemen? The 2 didn't go in the bottom left, so he went for the thin one in the side and took the 9 in as well. Maybe it looked like he was going to carry him into the 9. I don't think he played it in terms of going all out for the 9. He concentrated on the 2, knew that he would go into the 9. There was always a chance with 3-ball being over the corner. How's your luck? Oh, the 9's just rolled again as well, so nice break there. He's got a choice here. He could play a stop shot, but then he doesn't have the best angle on the 2 to hold for the 3. I don't think anyway. He might want to try and draw this. It does make the shot a little bit more difficult. Oh, he's going to go forward maybe. Yeah, same outcome. He wanted to come a bit lower down the table. That's a great shot. This way you can just cinch this and pull it out a little bit. How's the angle? Is he a bit straight on this? Not sure if he can force an angle. Yeah, he was a bit straight, so he had to go forward. He's overrun it a bit. However, this natural to a degree. He's going to head towards the 9. Wow, he's just going all around the world. How's your luck? Didn't want to catch the 7, but it's not a bad outcome. Does he have to draw to the left side of the 9 here, maybe? What a great shot. Great cueing. He's playing some great stuff. Needs to pull up. Got a little bit more juice than he wanted on it, but no drama. And that's a very, very quick rack indeed. Very well done. No hanging around. Very quick player. With an upcoming player. Very dangerous. Yeah, he's an aggressive player. Could this be a little bit too aggressive? Safety options wise, bit of a funny stretch to play this shot, but you can play a bit of a bank safety. Just get that 2-ball down the table, get some cover. He's played that well. Oh, I might have just sneaked an edge. 2-ball's not potable, but he's not hooked. So Nicholas does have some options. 2-ball's probably going to go off the 6-ball over to that right-hand long rail. Yeah, there's a half chance of a combo going in here. If the 2-ball's going to the right long rail, trying to get that, sorry, the 2-ball to the right long rail, try and get that cue ball up, kind of where it is now. Somewhere on that top rail might be okay. Unless he's going for the combo. No, he's going the other way. Surprised he was going that way. I think going the other way, even if he did have a leave a look at the 2, the 8-ball was blocking the pocket. So I'm not sure if this 2-ball goes in the top right. I'll have to see from the main angle. Yeah, it does. So chance here. 3 clearly goes in the side, so just pot this 2-ball and run the cue ball up to the left side of the table above the 9. Give him a shot on that 3 in the side. Yeah, it looks good. How's the pace? Pretty good. Needs one more good shot here. Bit of a draw stroke maybe. Is it going towards the centre pocket? I think he's okay. Yeah, able to just squeeze a little bit. A little bit of angle, but still fine. Just draw this over. Yeah, he doesn't hang about. Wow, he put a big one on that. Goodness me. I feel like he's playing exhibition shots. What a great 8-ball that was. Not sure if it was fully needed, but sometimes you feel more comfortable letting your arm go. But manages to pick up a couple of racks and take a 5-3 lead. Referee just giving the cue ball a clean after that exhibition shot. Yeah, he's looking at the 2-9 combo maybe. Don't blame him from there, but yeah, I was going to say if he can just draw that, was a great shot. Needs to slow down though. He's okay. cued quite across that one, but he has got a bit fortune. Jump shot is an option, but this is by no means a guarantee or easy. Yeah, that was very difficult. Making matters worse, he has scratched. Gives Nicholas ball in hand and a much easier run out option from here. All the problems that were there before have been resolved, so just a wide open table. Yeah, it's run a little bit. I think he can still, well, he can play it in the bottom right if he wants. The centre pocket would have been easier. Oh wow, he's played that with some spin or something. I think he's tried to check that in to come back for the 7 in the side. Absolute gift. Yeah, you need to take those chances. Yeah, probably take this in the top. Just hold this for the 9. And say thank you very much. Yeah, he had 2 chances in that rack, did Nicholas. Gifted the rack back to Selenjevas. Now taking a 6-3 lead. And that gap has all of a sudden grown very large. Makes this rack even more important because next the Lithuanian player will have 2 breaks of his own. Makes the 1, makes the points. Will he have a shot on the 2? I think he will. That's a very nice break. And this run out is really important now. Doesn't want to give table time back to Jakubas here. He's trying to see if he does run into the 5, what's going to happen. Ideally, he doesn't want to go into it if he can avoid it. Might have no option. Yeah, he's tried to play on it. It's not bad. He's going to need another shot though because the angle's not ideal. I mean, if he was confident enough to play the bank it would give him ideal position, but it's a bit, maybe a little bit too ambitious. He's going to try to draw it back, maybe play the 6 in in the top right corner. He has tried the bank. Yeah, it did look like it was an option. Awkward cueing, however, if he can just focus on the pot and go up and down, he should be okay. Oh, could be a let off there for Nicolas. That was a huge moment. Good chance to extend his lead there for the Lithuanian. Maybe 2 reels around the back of the 6. Yeah, he's played that well. Yeah, you can just draw this up table a little bit. Try and get near the middle pocket or a little bit higher. Would be nice. Yeah, that's okay. It's got enough angle just to draw this down table. Kind of get towards the middle of the table line would be nice, towards the centre pockets. Cue that really nice. Perfect. Stun this over. Play the 9 in the bottom left. Yeah, that was an important rack. Yeah, he's just taking a moment on this. Even though you wouldn't expect him to miss this. He's just giving himself a few extra seconds to make sure it's the right thing to do. Gets one back, trailing 4 racks to 6. And now we have 2 breaks from Jakubis. He'll be hoping to try and win at least one of his breaks, just to keep that pressure on. Makes the 1, makes the points. Where's the 2 going? Two is potable. It's not too bad, he can just kill this. Wow, that's a huge mistake there. He's surprised that he actually played it so wide. I think he was playing that with a bit of right hand spin or something, and he's just pushed the 2 ball. Yeah, that was a really nice opening table. Another chance for Nicolas here. How's the cueing? Has he gone too high? Is he bridging over the 8? He does have to find a bit of a gap here between the 8 and 9. It does look like it's a small gap, but even if he was over on the right hand side gushing, he would still have a shot on the 4. Just needs to make sure he doesn't underhit it. Yeah, he's a little bit hampered. Just puts extra pressure on this. As you see there, he's got plenty of table to work with. Just try and get over to that right side of the table. No, he's missed it. He found the gap. The same problem. Needs to find the gap. Let's play this with a bit of right hand spin. Drift the cue ball down. I think he's going to get there just. So the question is, what does he do here? Can he drop this in and play the 5 in the top right pocket? Center pocket is also an option. There you see it's. Don't really want to be playing in there unless you've got eye perfect position. Just drop this in maybe. Yeah, he's going to have to play it in the side. Take the 6 ball in the top right corner here, maybe stun the cue ball over to the left side of the table. Oh, he could even go forward, so he was straighter than it looked. So he's played that really well. Love to get closer to this 7, but might not be able to. So he needs one more good shot. It's not the best angle, but he does have quite good power. Try and get this back to the middle of the table would be nice. Needs to keep going. Just okay. It's a thinner 8 ball. These you can definitely overcut these ones. But the good thing is he's naturally coming back across for the 9 in the same pocket. Just focus on the 8. Yeah, a little bounce would be nice. So after the early mistake there on the 2 ball, he'd be very happy to get another chance to come back and take that rack. Nicholas will be a little bit sore there. He was gifted a chance to close the gap, didn't take it. Well, we have one more break here from the Lithuanian. He'd love to get a break and run and put himself on the hill. Gets that one again. Does he make the points? Yes, he does. However, not an opening shot this time, so it will be a safety shot of some description. He could play the thin edge, try and bring that cue ball down next to the 8 ball. That could be an option. Or he could try and split the 3 and put it on the left side. Even double the 3 down table. There's a few options. Yeah, he's decided to send the 3 there, but he's got the hook. Not so straightforward to hit. I wonder if he could bend this. Try and catch the 3 from the bottom rail. Even if he can just flick the edge of the 3, that might be better. Just to send that cue ball up table and maybe push the 3 ball a little bit towards the center of the table would be nice. Catching the 3 ball from behind is a kick, with the 8 ball and the 6 ball being so close. Might not give him much value. Flicking the edge of the 3 might be a better option. Looks like he's going to have to go the left side of the table, so yeah, he can't go the short rail, so I was going to say he's probably hoping for a little bit of luck here. So ball in hand changes this a little bit. Just having a look at what options he has. If he doesn't like the position on his next ball, he might play another good safety. Yeah, he might just try and put him up behind the 8. He could play from the bottom. He might, maybe he is just trying to go around the angles. Wow. Okay. That's a complete misjudgment. He obviously had a plan in mind, but didn't go exactly how he expected. Lucky not to scratch there, to be honest. Total misjudgment. It's good pace this though. That's a good recovery shot. Excellent pace. And I think he might have covered the left long rail as well. I think he was asking if that was a foul. But how these players play today, if that was a foul, he would have called it himself. Yeah, it's a pretty good shot. I think he does have an edge. Not really much he can do with it. He could play a very delicate one. Just flick off the 4 very softly and try and put the cue ball on that left rail, get cover. It's tough. Now he's going all around the world. It's not a bad shot really. Don't think he had much options for cover there. So even though he's left the pot, I think the cue ball will probably be coming into the 5. Yeah, that's what he's lining up with his cue. In these kind of situations, you've just got to go all in for the pot, knowing that your cue ball will run into something, and maybe the pool gods will give you a nice little rub. The pot has to be the most important focus point here for him. Yeah, that's all he could do. Tap on the leg there by Yagubis. It's not amazing, but look, he's got a shot on the 5 and a natural angle to come back up for the 6, so it's as much as he could have really asked for, not knowing what the outcome would be. Yeah, he jumped up there. He's going to be in a lot of trouble in this next shot, I think. Hasn't left the pot on, but what he has left is a very inviting stop shot behind the 8. Yeah, that was a missed opportunity. Played a good 4 ball. Got a nice bit of a bump on the 5. I do fancy him to hit this 5. Well, played that a little bit quick for me, but damage maybe is done in this rack now. Ball in hand, and this to get on the hill. Wide open table on the left side here, so you can play this probably just 1 rail. Don't think you'll be flirting with 2. Just judge the pace. He's close to his work. It's gone a little bit further than he would have liked. Might have to play this a couple of rails. Might even play the 7 in the side. Depends how he feels. Wow, what a shot. That's incredible. The cut was definitely on, but he elected for a more difficult shot to get better position. Needs to keep going though. Needs to keep going and hasn't. Still some drama. Yeah, he really needed to make sure there. This will be a bit of a hit and hope, I think. And it hasn't landed nice for the Lithuanian. Be a little bit disappointed there. Really had to make sure he got past that 9. He had quite a lot of table to play with. Could have even been on the right hand side rail and still been fine. So a bit of a misjudgment. Let's drop this 8 in. Yeah, somehow Nicholas is still alive. 7-5. So 2 big breaks here. Caught them a little full in the face. Has he made a ball? No. No ball made. Makes the points. However, it's left the cueing awful. Really not nice. This just changes the difficulty of this safety shot. He's absolutely wired to that ball. So his cue is going to be quite elevated. Yeah, it's interesting. That's why he's choosing to play a push shot. Yeah, I don't blame that. It was a really, really awful shot to play, bridging over that 3 ball. Taking the bank on, maybe? It's tempting. Oh, wow, that was a good effort. Very good. How's your luck? It's not bad. He has left a combo option. It's very difficult, of course, but he could be tempted. Trying to keep things tight. Not taking any risks. I don't blame him. Trying to protect that 7-5 lead. Yeah, it's not ideal, this. If the 8 ball wasn't there, maybe he could dig down and play a little bit of a stop shot. Try and leave the cue ball where the 1 ball is, but he would need to get the 1 ball back over to the left side of the table. I don't think that's on. So he's going to have to try something else. Seeing what he tried to do was a good effort. How's the pace? It's decent 1 ball. Could have done with a few extra rolls. The double case. It's a bit unfortunate there. He had a good chance to get a really, really good hook. He could find himself in 1 himself here after this. That's if he wants to play it that way. behind the 9. Now he's trying to come back across. How's the pace? He scratched, I think. Yeah, bit of a mistake that. Big chance now. Yeah, does it squeeze in? I think so. Cushion first, it should go in. So all it's about getting on the 2 ball here. It hasn't really worked out well. He needed that pocket to be much more open. Yeah, that bump on the line's not going to help. 2 doesn't go in the left pocket. It's extreme cut back in the right. I mean, he could take the 2-9 combo as a little bit of a shot with a bit of safety in mind. Has he taken the cut back? Maybe he is. No, he's trying to play the 9 ball. What a shot he's played here. He's apologised. Wow. Looked like he was playing that shot. But a hand in the air tells you otherwise. Either way, the 9 going down will win you the rack, as we all know, in 9 ball. And that gets him on the hill. And 1 rack away from staying in this tournament. Big break now coming, because whatever happens in this rack, if Nicholas can win it, Jakubas will have 2 breaks to win the match. It's a pretty good break. Is he going to get a shot on the 2? I don't think so. Yeah, it's a bit lucky. You can pretty much pot every ball on the table, apart from the 2. It's a bit of an awkward one as well. It's not ideal to hit the left side of the 2 and playing the right side of the 2. You've only really got the 8 ball for cover, and that 2 ball is going to have to go all the way down to kind of where his chalk is. Would be a good spot. Yeah, he's trying to split them. 8 ball's the only ball he has. Yeah, it's a bit unfortunate that from the break only really had 1 ball to hide behind. Still wasn't able to execute it, and now he's left a wide open table. 1 or 2 shots and this match could be over. It's probably all about this shot. Can you just play a stop shot and maybe hold the 5 in the side? Now he's going to have to come off 2 rails. It's a little bit short. However, obviously he can go up and down. Just puts a little bit of extra pressure on this one, but it is a, if I can say, a natural up and down. Just concentrate on the pot, maybe. He's missed it. That was a big chance. Missed. It's a bit thin, but 2 rails back across to the left side of where his hand is now. A bit short. As soon as he hit it, you could tell he was fat into the rail and also short of pace. Needs a bit of a shot here. I think he can just run forward and avoid the 9. So if he can do that, just topspin. Depends if he wants to play with a little bit of right hand spin. Either way, he's going to have a similar shot to where the cue ball is now, I think, distance wise. Yeah, he's trying to play it with right hand spin. Needs to slow up. Does want to be on top of that 8. Oh, I think he is just maybe. Wow, look at that. He's probably half a ball away from being absolutely comfortable. That 8 ball just adds a little bit more pressure. We'll see in a moment how his cueing is. Well, he's just okay. So he was half a ball away from being in a nightmare. Oh wow, has he fluked it though? Has he fluked it? Nope. I think that 8 ball, like I said, was just in his eye line. Another gift, you have to say. Back to the Lithuanian player. Just maybe a few too many mistakes at the crucial moments have cost the young Greek man. And there you see, Jakubas Slantovic wins 9 racks to 5. Unfortunately, Balafas will be going home for this one, and the Lithuanian player will move forward to tomorrow. We will be back tomorrow for the next matches. My name's Graham Hickman. Thanks for joining. Look forward to catching you all tomorrow for some more exciting pool here in the Netherlands at the Predator Dutch Open. Bye for now.